Dude, what is going on, my man? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on?
Good, man. Another beautiful South Carolina night, just chilly, rainy, all that stuff, all that jazz. How about you?
Nice, very nice. Yeah, same here. Good old Southern California, Huntington Beach. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. This is a first, hopefully not a last, but yeah, man. I'm very stoked. Thank you very much.
Awesome, man. Yes, we're gonna get into a bunch of cool topics, and thanks for coming on. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And little minor intro. This is Kevin. Kevin from Portside Munitions. I actually had a lot of people really wanted to get you on, and I've been wanting to have a gun shop on too. So it kind of all blends together and it works out, and glad we can make this thing happen, man.
Me too. Me too.
Awesome. So little outline for the podcast for listeners, what you are going to expect. We're going to get into a little bit of the background of Portside, their backgrounds, where they come from, how they start. And additionally, we're going to discuss firearms, of course. What would be a gun shop without firearms? Pretty fucking useless. Okay, so, and then we'll also discuss night vision. That's something I've always wanted to discuss. So that's always cool. And then, of course, this is actually how I stumbled upon you guys. But reloading stuff. Portside Pinks is the first thing that pops my mind.
Nice.
I just remember, without getting into it too much ahead of myself, but that was how I found you. I think it was through Corey over at SupDef. I think I remember him posting a picture, and I was like, "Damn, this fucking badass!" Fucking like you don't even really practically see it, but it's pretty badass to like fucking load those. Like I could imagine being like at a match or something. And I was like, "Oh, what are you shooting?" Like, fucking Portside Pinks, bro. So
yeah, no, funny you say that. I actually have a good friend that did shoot him in competition.
Awesome.
Shout out to Scooter Pie Actual.
Nice. Yeah, I know who that is. I've heard that name before. I know that name.
Yeah. He likes to annoy everyone on Instagram, but overall he's a great fucking kid and nothing but a tremendous help to Portside since day one.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. All right. So what would be my podcast without doing the icebreakers? And now that I finally have it down, I got to press the button. Icebreakers. All right. Thank God it actually works. I was definitely expecting it to mess up. So, okay. Question number 1. What is one food you wish didn't exist at all?
Oh, dude, this is easy for me. I fucking hate seafood. So if it comes out of the fucking ocean, dude, fuck it. Yeah. If fish, salmon, lobster, anything, dude. Like, I don't fuck with sushi. Yeah. So that whole food group, I know, bro. My wife is a huge sushi connoisseur. And yeah, no, it's super weird because I've been around water, boats, fishing literally my entire life. I named my fucking business Portside.
Yeah.
I have my captain's license, but yeah, I fucking hate fish, dude. I fucking can't stand that shit. So easy.
Wow, dude. Did you just have like a bad experience one time and then like your brain was just like wired like never again, dude? Like never.
No, not necessarily. And I've given everything a fucking try. My wife forces it all, down my throat. But honestly, like I don't know. I was a pretty uncultured childhood, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like my mom was basic, just fucking hot dogs and macaroni and fucking that's how we did it.
Yeah. Honestly though, if it wasn't for my wife, I'd be the same way. Like maybe it's because I was younger when she like forced it on me, and then I was like, I slowly like just opened up more, and then I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't even like it. Maybe I'm just telling myself I like it. That's like some Matrix shit right there, right?
I mean, dude, I realize like I'm missing out on an entire fucking food group. But even at our wedding, dude, we had a legitimate like design your own cheeseburger bar. Because I fucking love cheeseburgers, dude.
Hell yeah.
That's my shit, dude. So
awesome.
Yeah, fuck fish, fuck seafood.
Oh man, I'm gonna have a bunch of friends fucking message me after that too, because they're the same exact way, and I'm always like pestering, like, just give it one try. Just give it a try. I feel that.
Fuck it.
All right, fair enough. All right, so I'm gonna stick on the hate train, and I'm gonna move on to my next question. But what is the worst energy drink? So I brought this question up because I noticed you are someone with, you are a cultured individual who drinks Red Bull. I saw that. I saw the picture.
I appreciate that you noticed that because I know you and Monarch, you guys talked about this shit too. Fuck, dude, we are hardcore Red Bull drinkers here. We got the fucking Red Bull fridge stocked.
God, man.
I personally prefer sugar-free Red Bull.
Same.
I am drinking a fucking regular one right now because my partner Chris just stocked the fridge with him, so I'll never turn down a free Red Bull. But yeah, dude, for sure Red Bull's the go-to. I fucking don't really like Monsters. I used to fuck with Bang. That shit, I don't know. It got like too sweet for me. I was doing that stupid fucking rainbow unicorn flavor, whatever that blue and pink one is. And that shit fucked you up too, dude. Like you were lit if you drank a whole one of those. So yeah, I stick to the 12 ounce sugar-free Red Bull, man. That's my go-to.
Fucking nail on the head, dude. Nail on the head. So I normally will get the same thing, like same exact thing. 12 ounce sugar-free. I'll drink the zero for some reason. Like, I don't know, like I had it one time and I was like, oh, actually kind of tastes a little different, but it's still pretty good. So I get like the zero, but the sugar-free one. And then once in a while I'll get exotic and dabble like with like the peach nectarine one or the whatever, other flavors. But yeah, I'm right there with you.
No, I'll fuck with the watermelon. Did you ever try the that winter edition that they have now?
Dude, I don't care what anyone says. I love that fucking flavor.
Yeah, I do love it. I got a sweet tooth like a motherfucker, so that shit is like right up my alley.
Dude, it's not like, it doesn't even really have like a lot more sugar than the other ones, but I don't know what it is about that one. Man, see, on top of that too, so like if you drink a Bang, I'm not your doctor, but I would definitely say you shouldn't drink another one later on that day. Like that's definitely not a good idea. With a Red Bull, I can have a little 12 ounce one in the morning, like early morning. And then if I'm like just on the downhill, like, oh, you know what? I can have another one because it's only like, it's not crazy amounts of caffeine. Right there with you, dude.
My partner will sit here in the shop and probably down like 3 12-ouncers in like one evening, and totally normal. He's fine. Yeah.
I'm with you. It gives you just enough buzz. Like it's not like just overlasting, but it's funny. Like someone messaged me and I'm like going on about energy drinks, and this happens every time it gets brought up, but it has to be talked about. All right. So one guy messaged me about the fact I mentioned like the Bangs and the Reigns, and he was like, yeah, dude, like every time I open one up, I'll drink the whole thing. I was like, yeah, okay, you drink the whole thing. So like you drink it all at once? And he was like, yeah, he's like, I'll drink it like within 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like how? Like I'll drink it over at like 5 hours. Man, yeah. Insane, dude. Insane.
Yeah, dude, energy drinks should almost be like something you sip on, dude. I mean, you don't got to fucking chug this shit, man.
It's
a marathon. Shit, dude. Yeah. Dude, straight up, people do have fucking heart attacks, man.
Dude,
this is no joke.
Yeah, man. You're 100% right. All right. So I'm going to get out of just foods in general. I don't know. I'm just on a bender. But last question. This is for like that out west, Western style. But do you believe in aliens?
Okay, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan wishes.
Fuck, dude. If you would have asked me this like back in my high school days when I dabbled in certain things, I might have gone on a nice tangent with you.
Yeah.
But if there were, I think they'd honestly be so disappointed with the human race at this point that they'd just fucking turn around and head back to fucking space, dude. It's such a clusterfuck down here.
IG, we turn around, bro. Turn this thing around, man.
Yeah, so, whatever. Aliens don't fucking phase me one way or another.
Yeah.
We got enough guns around here.
I'll put it like this. Like, how do I word it? Like, do you believe in life outside of Earth? We'll put it like that. It doesn't have to be like UFOs and abduction stuff. Just like, just in general.
100% yes.
There you go. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. There's got to be.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I was reading, I can't remember where it popped up at, but it was a thread, and it was like, can you imagine, like, we can barely even envision, like, see what 40 or 60% of like where we are right now. And like in this one little galaxy, but we know there's millions of other ones around past that. And it's like, you think there's nothing else alive out that direction, different ways, and, other side, So yeah, I'm with you.
Dude, totally. Dude, we haven't even finished fucking discovering everything in the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean floor still hasn't been, it's like 40. I think maybe that's what the number is popping up from. Like, it's like 40% of the ocean floor has been mapped or something like that.
Yeah, that's nothing, dude.
Yeah.
We got a long fucking ways to go, man.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
oceanographers need to get to work.
Yeah, merman. Discover the merman and the merwomen. Yeah, mermaids. Damn.
Yeah, right.
Damn, messed up.
What fuck? Don't tell my wife.
All right, dude. So let's get into it. So, Kevin from Portside Munitions, tell us a little bit about yourself. What is Portside Munitions, and what all do you guys offer?
All right, dude. So PM started a couple years ago. I founded it myself, thinking I could kind of just turn a hobby into a little extra side cash.
Mm-hmm.
I really had no intentions of it getting to where it is today, but I am beyond grateful for it. It started in a garage, dude. Like, my wife and I have a house in Huntington Beach, and I have a full-time job, as most people know. And I figured, I could utilize my time and turn this hobby that I'm doing with all, a good majority of my friends at least, into something that'll benefit us all. And, if it brings in cash or pays for itself, then, so be it. Great.
Right.
So yeah, I knew from the get-go when I did this that I did not want to be like a Turner's or a Big Five.
Yeah.
Like I don't foresee myself being like a glorified gun salesman. That's not my forte at all. So I knew I wanted to kind of deal in certain manufacturers, certain style of weapons. Sometimes I get referred to as like the kick and wing of guns because I specialize in like Glocks and fucking ARs. Yeah, that's it. Obviously we're big in the 2011 game now. That has came later, but initially, it was Glocks and ARs, and it still is. So yeah, it started in the garage a couple years ago, by myself. I had just a bunch of buddies that were shooting with me all the time, and suppressors were a big thing, as you know, in California. You can't have it. Realistically, the only way is becoming a cop, which no thanks, and or opening an FFL.
Yeah.
So that was another kind of underlying reason.
Sure.
Can't tell the ATF that.
Yeah, no.
So hopefully they don't listen.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So like, this was something that I had looked into as well for similar reasons. Obviously, it's the laws here in South Carolina, at least, are a little bit looser. Obviously, we can own NFA stuff, et cetera, but like the post sample machine gun, all that stuff, like that's capped off, that's limited. I had looked into it at one point, but I know I want to say like it was actually recently that they really like started cracking down on dudes who basically were not selling or doing anything. Like pretty much they were just a glorified FFL, but it was just a hobbyist kick. And I had heard that they were really cracking down on those guys since they weren't actually like doing anything. Like they weren't selling, they weren't even trying to advertise, they weren't trying to do anything like whatsoever. It was just literally them holding an FFL to get machine guns, which you shouldn't have to get a fucking FL to get a machine gun anyways,
right.
But
it is what it is.
Right.
Funny you say that. On the application to become an FFL or to get an FFL, there's a little checkbox that says something along the lines of "You're not doing this to enhance your personal collection." So I knew from the get-go, like I was going to have to sell something, whether it was one gun a month or something. I couldn't just buy a bunch of off-roster pistols and suppressors, and keep them for myself. So I knew in the back of my head I was definitely going to have to sell something to stay off the ATF's radar, and more importantly, off DOJ's radar, which is our biggest hurdle in California.
Gotcha.
ATF, believe it or not, has been super chill. I know a lot of dudes are going to hate me for saying that, but I've had nothing so far but good experiences with the ATF. The DOJ, on the other hand, I haven't necessarily had bad experiences with them yet, but they are, they're a little more difficult to get through to. Like with the ATF, I literally have I think they call them like inspection. They call them IOIs. I don't remember what it stands for. And I can just text that dude any question, any time of the day, and he replies in like 5 minutes. Totally normal dude. Been to my house. Yeah. ATF is, in my book, they're cool.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, like, if you're trying to do something and if you have to go by the guidelines without, getting your PP slapped and stuff like that, at least they can do is help you. And at least if they can do that, that's what matters most. I mean, like you said, people aren't going to want to hear it. Like, no, you shouldn't have to have this to own that. But let's just be realistic here. At this point, it is what it is. And without basically spending the rest of your time behind jail or having everything removed away from you, got to play by the rules. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Exactly, dude. I know a lot of younger dudes will say, fuck the ATF
Right.
or whatever, freedom is a mindset. It's one of my favorite quotes ever. But fuck, dude, at the end of the day, like when you got a family, a house,
Absolutely.
you got nice shit, like fuck, dude, I'm not trying to lose all that shit.
Yeah, especially like if this is something you've kind of come into later on. I mean, I'm right there with you. So I mean, that would be devastating if something like that came bearing down on me like out of nowhere. So I'm right there with you. I mean, at least they're cooperating and at least they're kind of helping. I mean, obviously no one likes the whole thing about the whole pistol brace fiasco and all that stuff, but when people pester them every fucking day about it and keep on asking questions on this and this and that and that and that, and you keep on pushing the agenda, then what do you expect they're going to do? So,
well, yeah. And again, that's our own fucking doing because we have guys that are fucking emailing the ATF and, we're shooting ourselves in the foot at the end of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If guys would just fucking keep their fucking mouths shut and, go about their business as usual, then we probably wouldn't have this fucking pistol brace fiasco now.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah. Lo and behold. But anyways, though, so very cool. So when you first started off, you're doing like Glock stuff. Were you actually selling just the firearms themselves, or were you doing just like firearm parts? I mean, I guess when you have the FFL, it has to be firearms, right?
Yeah. So parts had never, ever really been a big thing for me. Like,
Gotcha.
Circling back around, like, dude, I don't want to be a fucking Turner's. If you want to go fucking put your hands on some shit ass Strike Industries parts or fucking, whatever, like go to fucking Turner's, dude. I don't give a fuck. I mean, Portside is not for you. So yeah, it's definitely mainly been firearms. In the beginning, pre-COVID, I could go to a distributor and have a Glock at normal dealer pricing in 2 fucking days. So yeah, it was easy. My very first purchase with the FFL was a Glock 19X, which is off roster here in California. So right away, that was like, I got that. I got a Surefire RC2 can, like within the first month of having the FFL.
Nice.
Kind of get my feet wet. And yeah, dude, it's kind of just been, I don't know, downhill, uphill from there, as in more firearms just keep showing up every day, and dudes don't stop buying them. Yeah.
So I'm gonna get into that in just a moment too. So like you mentioned COVID and stuff like that, and that changes like the purchasing, just the time frames, demand. Obviously, a bunch of different industries and manufacturers. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of these guys have obligations to meet with other vendors as well, and sometimes contracts, whether it be military, law enforcement, federal, blah, blah, blah. But how has that been so far, this year? Obviously, I mean, if you are into guns, it's been pretty insane this year with firearms, record numbers and et cetera, et cetera. But like, what have you seen so far? Like, what are you guys experiencing?
So I have a love-hate relationship with this whole pandemic thing.
Right.
It has definitely taken my business to a whole other level that it wouldn't have been at without it. On the flip side, we can't get fucking guns.
Yeah.
So what I used to be able to get a Glock for $400 from a distributor. Now I'm paying full price, then taxing it so I can make some money on top of it to get it to the end user, which, I don't know, that's like by the time it's said and done, probably a 50% markup on a normal price. So it kind of, it sucks for everyone, but as a business owner and an FFL, it's great because everyone wants guns. So as long as people are okay with paying that little extra margin, then it's cool. Then, we have no problems with it other than, it just takes forever sometimes to get the shit. But yeah, other than that, it's done nothing, I think, in the long run, but give Portside a real fucking foundation, because now, I mean, like my wife, she's in the makeup industry. So she, lot of liberal Democratic clients, all these people coming out of the woodworks that I would never in a million years think would be buying a gun. But this pandemic, the riots, whatever, got them all scared. And I can't tell you how many, people on newscasters that, have spoken outright about, being anti-gun are literally purchasing firearms from me that same evening. So it's a wild roller coaster, man. It's a trip.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this year has put some stuff in perspective for people too, just on how things have happened and reacted and stuff like that, and how quickly things can get out of control. I can only imagine how frustrating it might be for you to deal with some customers who know, like, well, last year it was this price, and now, with the code, you guys are. I can only imagine how much, finger pointing you guys get with, like, people saying like, oh, you guys are price gouging. But unfortunately, like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to make a profit. So, if that's what you're getting it for, and you have to make something out of it, otherwise, what's the fucking point? Do you experience a lot of guys like that who are kind of like begrudgingly, dealing with that?
I feel like we've been pretty lucky. And I want to say that's probably due to the location we're in. Yeah. We're in an area with a population that has a pretty nice disposable income.
Gotcha.
So, and again, that circles back around to the people that do bitch about that stuff, go to fucking Turner's. You want to wait fucking in a line outside, get your temperature taken, just to go inside and have them show you a couple revolvers that they have in stock and put you on a waiting list for a Glock for 4 months, be my fucking guest. Or you can get the super nice private treatment, come in, no wait, I'm not going to fucking check your temperature. And you pay an extra, $200 and you get the gun that fucking day, or 10 days later, I should say, in California. Yeah. But, we have it. So I'm super lucky where we are. And I knew that also going into it. I have a lot of buddies that, they make stupid fucking money and they love guns.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, that's one, I think that's just the nature of the beast too, especially kind of when you start getting money and then you kind of want to expand. And obviously when you get to the little bit next echelon, the guns kind of change the experience, I feel like. And I'm going to bring that up in just a second is what I mean. But additionally though, so you mentioned already that you guys started in the garage, which is always cool. Before I move to the next part of like, chaining off this, but so is there any issues like with California and like opening a gun shop and being basically stationed in your garage, like your home property? Do they not give you any kind of, roll their eyes or anything like that, or get onto you or anything?
So again, it really comes down to where in California you are. And so I didn't know this going into it, but obviously I live in Huntington Beach, and I'm sure some people listening will know Huntington Beach is kind of notorious for being pretty Republican conservative.
Okay.
And unlike, LA, which is 35 miles away from here.
Right.
So I was a little apprehensive about setting up a gun shop, but there are a few in Huntington Beach. So I knew it could be done. And so I went down to City Hall. And, I had all my ducks in a row, application, I was on top of everything. I didn't want to go in unprepared. And the lady that writes like the business licenses for Huntington Beach, she came out and she could not be more excited to issue this home-based business license for an FFL. Yeah, I was fucking blown away. Shout out to Elizabeth. She is amazing. So not only was she excited about it, she gave me like a handwritten step-by-step list of shit I needed to do. Yeah. So Huntington Beach, super pro home-based gun shop, like
very
no
cool
problems. Yeah. Easy. ATF came to the house, checked it out. The business license says, valid for retail sales of firearms. Huntington Beach does have a couple quirks though about like actually having customers at your house. So I kind of had to keep that, to a minimum, which is why we're at an actual storefront now.
Right.
Because these last couple months have just been fucking out of control.
Can't handle it. Yeah.
So Huntington Beach, A+ for home-based firearm businesses.
Very cool. Very cool. So moving on to that. So you got, like you said, with the business growing and the expansion, you guys have moved actually into a new location. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, man. So my partner and I, we finally got to the point where it's a little awkward to be selling such high-end firearms out of a garage. Albeit I had a really nice garage
It's
in a
pretty
really
dope
nice
though.
house. Yeah, in a really nice neighborhood. And most dudes, like 99% of them were chill. There was
Hmm.
very few that were uncomfortable about it or didn't want to buy a gun from a garage. I'm sure in the early days of Portside, there was like a weird text message that someone had sent around talking about like me robbing them in my garage. So we kind of turned that into a whole joke about getting robbed at an FFL in someone's house.
What the
It
hell?
made no fucking sense. Yeah, at the end of the day, dude. Like, so Chris, my partner, and I, you know,
Hmm.
we're into the Atlas game now. Those 2011 pistols.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, we've been moving a lot of the John Wick 2011 stuff that's super hard to get in California. So these are like, you know, $15,000
for
transactions
sure.
taking place in a garage. So at some point we knew we had to kind of professionalize it a little bit
Hmm.
and move this into, you know, a better environment, which is where we are now. So it's an 1,100 square foot shop, still in Huntington Beach. I'm 200 yards away from the beach. Like I'm literally staring at
Nice.
Main Street downtown right now. We're a month in here and still not open to the public. Appointment only. I have no inventory. So people ask me all the time, can I come look at shit? There's nothing to look at here.
Look
Basically,
at me.
people hit us up. Yeah, exactly. If you want to come here and get shit on all day, by all means, you know, be my guest. But, you know, Chris and I, our phones are blowing up all day.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, people kind of just insinuate what they're looking for. We let them know whether we can get it or not. We most of the time make it happen. They come in, pay for it, pick it up, good to go. Simple as
Nice.
that.
So, like I said before, I was like chaining off one another. So let me go ahead and round it back up. So you mentioned specialized stuff, more specific, and I'm 100% with you. Like I think that's something that's missing in general. So, you know, and there's a couple gun guys who are doing it now, I feel like, and finally kind of hitting that niche. So when you guys say like 2011, so like those are the pistols everyone likes to, they're really cool pistols. I really want one, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But let's talk about rifles and stuff like that. Clone game. I know you're a cloner, or in
Big
general.
time.
Yep. So
Love
that's
it.
when I mentioned specialized stuff, and I love how you mentioned Strike Industries and stuff. So let's talk about cloning stuff. Like, what's your go to gun right now at the moment? Like, you know, you go into the range, you're going to go shoot. What do you go and grab first?
So go-to gun right now is actually not even a clone at all. It's an 11.5 Knights Armament gun that, you know, may or may not exist. And that's my shit right there. I'm a huge Knights Armament simp. So is my good friend Steven, Amateur Armor. So him and I, we've been clone dorks since day one at Portside, and we feed off each other. Kind of like everyone else says, you know, there's like an adrenaline rush
For
in
sure.
tracking this shit down.
Oh, there really is.
Um, and yeah, him and I compete all the time. I mean, we were literally arguing an hour ago over this stupid Pec 2 Knights low pro mount and a fucking $600 muzzle brake that he just purchased. So, yeah, him and I definitely love the clones. Now, my customers, uh,
It's hard to
I,
explain.
yeah, it is like the dudes that know, they know. But
Right,
the
right.
majority, I would say, of my customers that buy rifles from us, they're more into like almost like kind of the race gun style stuff, more like
Mm-hmm.
JP rifles. Um, I do a lot of like factory Noveski stuff.
Yeah.
We fucking love Noveski down here. Wish we could get it quicker if they're listening. Um, and then, yeah, man, I mean, the rifle game in California fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
So you pretty much got two options. You either got to run it featureless or mag locked. So, and a lot of companies, they just won't even fucking ship rifles into California.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so we really got to push the boundaries and make workarounds for a lot of things, whether it's sending the rifle to an out-of-state FFL and having them convert it to compliant and then
Mm-hmm.
sending it to us so we can transfer it out. Or what I would say probably 80% of my customers do is they just buy the lowers.
Right.
You buy the lowers, and then when they walk out of the door, whatever they do, they do. That's on them. But yeah, so lowers are super prevalent out here, as opposed to factory complete AR-15s.
Makes sense.
Fucking California, man. Everything's illegal out here.
Gotcha.
Except drugs and homelessness. That's totally fine.
So let's talk about your 11.5. I mean, technically, dude, they have that SR16. That's 11.5, and that's technically clone correct, I guess, in some aspects. Do you have one of those SR16s?
Yep, that's what we're running.
Nice.
Pretty much that seems to be the popular size around here. 11.5. Me, Steven, Chris, we're all running 11.5s, pistols, obviously, and yeah, man, I got a Knights lower from good old War Rig Logistics, and
another cool guy, I know.
Yeah, he's super chill dude. Him and I got some stuff coming up next year too.
Cool.
And then so I run. Steven and I, we just scored some sand cutters, so threw a sand cutter in there. I run an 8-point T2. He's more of a T1 guy. I have Surefire cans. I prefer the Knights cans over everything. I've been running that corn cob lately.
Gotcha.
And yeah, man, it's a bunch of Knights simps around here, pretty much.
Cool stuff, man. Before I move on from clone stuff, what's your favorite clone in general?
Mark 12.
Mark 12.
Mark 12. Yeah, hands down. Yeah. So I got a pretty nice mod 1. Steven has a Holland. And yeah, man, that fucking gun is great. I haven't shot mine in a couple months, but it's just a fucking cool fucking gun to shoot, man. It kind of covers all the tracks. Yeah, it really is iconic. But yeah, that's cool. I've got my little pre-sample fucking Block 2 gun. It's also pretty nice, if I need to bring the 14.5 out for whatever reason. We did just score a Mark 11 that I'm pretty excited about, because I don't know if you're familiar. Knights is pretty much banned by name out here in California. SR25. Yeah. So there is literally no way to bring SR15s, SR25s, and technically the RAS rails are even banned here. No, hardly anyone knows that. Yeah. The fucking handguards are banned in California technically. So that's another reason Knights is so hot around here, because it's
kind of
it's like the forbidden fruit. Yeah. You straight up can't get it. So the only stuff that you can legally obtain in California from Knights are SR30s, which are the blackout lowers, and Mark 11s, which are SR25 receivers, but marked Mark 11 instead of SR25.
Gotcha.
So yeah, fucking same gun overall, different roll marks. We finally just got one of those in, so I'm excited to set that up, and that will probably be my new favorite clone.
Very cool. Very cool. So you kind of touched on it just a moment ago, but so what are all the firearms that someone in California can own? Like you said, you already mentioned like the lowers and like, to buy the lower, and then does it have to be a stripped lower, or can it be like a complete lower, or does it just have to be one of those things where when you're filling out, like, say, I know we'll touch on that in a second too, like with the 4473, it's like, it's classified rifle, pistol, other, is like one of those things?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as I know, lowers are pretty much good to go, whether it's stripped or complete. Gotcha. I bought my first Knights lower like 5 years ago, direct from Rifle Gear. It was an SR30 lower, complete. So if those dudes are selling them, they sell way more guns than I do. That's a huge gun store out here. So I kind of learned a lot from what they were able to do. I've had no problem transferring out completed lowers and stripped lowers. It's just the factory completed rifles are where it gets tricky around here. And then we also obviously have that stupid pistol list. So yeah, when it comes to Glocks, Gen 3 is the newest Glock you can get out here, unless you PPT it. So that means you got to find a police officer or someone that registered it from out of state, and you're going to pay a huge fucking markup on it.
Oh man,
fucking Glock 43s go for, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500 out here, dude.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oof, that's a hard pill to swallow. But okay, so on that process, so I know you were talking about we mentioned earlier NICS. So like the NICS center and stuff like that is generally like for me, if you're in other states, you call in if you don't have a concealed weapons permit, that is. Don't have a concealed weapons permit, they call in with your information on your 4473, which is your little background check form. But it's a little different in California. Like you mentioned, you actually use it's DROS, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah. So we actually we just call it the DROS.
Gotcha.
So if you have a concealed permit out in one of your states, you don't even need to call in NICS.
Nope, not at all. Nope.
Fucking must be nice, dude. So yeah, dude. So we use the DROS, which stands for Dealer Record of Sale out here. We don't use the NICS system at all. So
Gotcha.
California DOJ has their own fucking system. We still do, however, fill out the 4473s.
Mm-hmm.
So those get logged. ATF does. They're the ones that monitor, all my 4473s and all my NFA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So California, believe it or not, they don't really have anything to do with my suppressors. So that's still a federal only thing.
Right.
But then as far as the rest of the transactions go for customers and whatnot, yeah, it's we fill out the 4473 and then we submit the DROS, the dealer record of sale. And it takes 10 days for California to come back and say, yeah, you can hand this guy his firearm over. They call it the cooling off period.
Gotcha.
I guess if you want to change your mind about killing someone, you got 10 days to do so. I don't know the logic behind that, but it is what it is. And yeah, man, it's you got to have a valid California ID. Do you guys have that the FSC, the Firearm Safety Certificate?
No.
Okay, so get this, dude. In order to buy any firearm in California, first of all, you got to be 21 for even rifles and shotguns. That changed. Like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago. You used to be able to buy rifles and shotguns at 18, and pistols were 21. Yeah, so that changed. It's 21 across the board now. And yeah, so you got to take this, they call it an FSC or Firearm Safety Certificate. It's a 30-question test, and you can miss 7 of them. And it's good for 5 years once you pass it. And it basically states that you're competent enough to own a firearm. The questions are along the lines of like, what direction is it safe to point the firearm? Like up, down, through the window or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's super basic, but it has to be issued. It's fucking minimum of $25 and you have to have it. So FSC, California driver's license, and waiting the 10 days, and that's just for rifles and shotguns. If you want to buy a pistol, you have to include a secondary proof of residence, i.e.
water bill,
electric bill, water bill, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah,
gotcha.
You got to do all that shit, and then I don't know if it's like this out where you guys are too. You're only allowed to purchase one handgun every 30 days here.
Nah, not at all. I'm trying to remember what it was because it's been a while, honestly. And generally, I've never actually bought more than one pistol at a time. But I know that, perfect example, so for me, we'll just say like this past couple months, concealed weapons permit, yada, yada, yada. I go to my FFL, which actually is my range. They actually have their FFL and they make things super easy for me. Shout out to Panteo. But that being said, yeah, I fill out my 4473 just like I would all my normal paperwork. I give them my CWP. They make a copy of it in my driver's license. They log it in. That's it. I'm done. I'm out. I don't have to do anything. No calls, no nothing. It's all on, as long as everything is matching. So like, my current residence matches on my driver's license and my concealed weapons permit. That's it. Concealed weapons permit, for South Carolina, you actually do have to take a course. It's like a mandatory 6.5 or 8 hour course. And then like the same thing, they mail all your prints off, up to SLED, which is like our big agency, et cetera, and they'll issue it out to you after a couple months. And it's good for a couple of years and you just got to reissue it. After that, dude, like the questions about like the firearm safety thing, like that sounds like our hunter education, like legit. That's what like the hunter education requirement, like to get your like hunting license. That's what that sounds like almost to a T.
I've heard it. It's very similar to that. And we have that also. That's kind of like the the workaround for 18-year-olds to buy shotguns. If they have their valid hunting license, they're allowed to buy long guns. So yeah, we kind of have similar shit to that. We also have the concealed carry shit out here. It's insanely difficult to get in several counties out here. Again, I'm just lucky where I live, Orange County. They don't give a fuck. They hand them out like candy for the most part if you have a legitimate reason. They just want good cause behind it. So owning a business is pretty straightforward. I've had mine for I think 8 years now. Ours only lasts for 2 years. You got to renew it every 2 years and prove the good cause. But yeah, man, that's what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, you got to play by the rules too. But at least, like you said, your county is like really. It seems like they're like more gung ho about it, and they're willing to work with you and make things easier on your end. So it's not too much of a pain in the ass, you know. So that's cool, I guess. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty shitty, but I guess it could be worse. So
yeah,
I'm not complaining too much.
Fair enough. All right, man. So like you said, you talked about kind of like the best parts of like the COVID and the worst parts. And has there already been any frustrations dealing with like different firearm companies? Like obviously, like I said, they're just absolutely slammed right now. So it's like, you know, hit or miss, but how are they handling it? Like, you know, dealing with you, like working direct with them.
It sucks for us because we're small fish, dude. You know, the big dogs, you know, the Rifle Gears and Turners, they're able to kind of like go in together and, you know, go to Glock and say, hey, we've got, you know, $10 million for whatever purchase order it is. And those dudes are going to get all the priority versus, you know, mom and pop shops like Portside, where we're really only ordering them one at a time for who's ever buying it, not necessarily inventorying it. We kind of get pushed to the back burner. So again, that comes down to me paying essentially full price from another dealer out of state and then adding what you could call, I guess, a California markup to it. So Portside can stay in business. So that part is super frustrating. Like all my distributors, I haven't been able to get guns from them since February, March, you know, Lipsy's, Xander's. These companies that were, you know, 2 clicks of a mouse and the gun showed up in 2 days, fucking haven't even logged onto their site in 6 months.
Yeah. What's the point? That's crazy, dude. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of like just return that people have come into the firearms and just started gobbling them up. Do you see a lot of people, like the same type of people, like hoarding or like, you know, coming in and just trying to repeat and like, you know, rinse and repeat and get as much as they can? Or is it mostly like newer customers?
It's honestly, it's a lot of new. I would say it leans a little towards the newer, you know, firearm purchaser, because the problem with the dudes that want to hoard, they don't want to fucking pay what the shit's going for now.
Gotcha.
Like, dude, ammo at whatever it is, 80 cents, 90 cents a round right now. Like that's hard to fucking sell to a dude that is a gun guy and is used to paying 35 cents a round. So no, there's not much to hoard right now. And also too, like everyone wants this, all the new gun owners, they all want the same shit. Like everyone wants a Mossberg 500, a Remington 870 and a Glock 19. And that's the shit that's sold out, dude. Like, you know, the $500 firearms are nowhere to be found.
Right.
Luckily for us, you know, the $5,000 pistols or the, you know, the $17,000 M240s, like, that shit's still out there because there's only so many people buying it.
Get slick buyers.
Yeah, exactly. So, and those, you know, people with money tend to keep their money. So it just comes down to us being kind of at the right place at the right time and getting lucky with a little niche kind of dealership that we've turned into.
Good stuff. So you did mention the 2011s earlier, and I'll be honest, I'm not like, I know the general gist is kind of like a hybrid kind of a thing that's kind of come on the scene, especially like in competition shootings. And like you said, John Wick kind of popularized it a little bit more. What are the 2011s without, you know, going into too much detail, but kind of explain them a little bit?
Fucking game changer, dude.
Game changers.
That's it, bro. Like, so, I mean, Steven and I, amateur armor, fucking Glock guys forever.
Right.
That's what we fucking shot. I swore by them. I still love them. Glocks are fucking dope, dude. Steven's building a really nice 17 right now. I have a 19, a 19X, a 34. Fucking love Glocks, dude. My partner Chris, he came in and got us on the STI game, dude. Once you fucking shoot one of these, you're like,
don't tell me that.
Why
dude.
did I even fucking waste $600 on a Glock? Yeah, these fucking things have zero fucking recoil. They just make you look like you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
essentially. Also, shooting with a red dot. I don't know if you're a red dot pistol guy.
I am,
dude. I mean, that's the only way to go, man, in my opinion. So yeah, the low recoil, the size, the feeling. So I have a Staccato XC, which I love. It's, the big difference between that and the Atlas, one's half plastic and half metal. The Atlas is all metal. Gotcha. My partner Chris, he swears by the Atlases, and he's a much, much better shooter than I am. And he says there's just no comparison to pretty much any other pistol than those Atlas Athenas or Arabises. And they're fucking amazing. I love my XC. I think it's great. I don't think I'm a good enough shooter to really decipher a difference between the two. Like, you could stick both in each hand and I'm ringing steel at 60 to 80 yards, like no fucking problem. They're that easy to shoot, dude. I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh, man, dude, don't be telling me this stuff. Don't be telling me this stuff, man. I actually kind of like looked at them really, really hard at one point, and like I was on the verge of buying one. I'm not even sure what model it was. It was I know it was an STI. It may have been a Staccato. I think it was like $1,600 or $17 at my local gun sale. That was the only place I could actually see them.
Fuck that one. And that's probably like a P or something, dude. Yeah. If you're gonna go STI, XC, I think is the only one you want. Or, dude, check out the fucking Atlases, man. Yeah, and then also we're trying to get in with Triarch too. They seem to have built a pretty nice 2011 at a friendlier price point.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay, cool. So now I'm a little curious. Now we're talking more guns now, but with the 2011, so with this, obviously that's a platform itself. It's not necessarily designated to just STI. So it's multiple companies are making them now, making variants of them.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. The Atlas, it's still a 2011 at the end of the day. I mean, as far as I know, I'm no fucking gun designer or anything. But yeah, I mean, that's what we call them around here. It's like a 9mm 1911, dude.
Right.
And you get made fun of if you bring a 1911 around here, but the 2011s are the way to go. Steven's about to buy his first Atlas any fucking day now. He's probably rolling his eyes at me as I say that. But yeah, the Athenas, the Arabises by Atlas, it's a fucking sick gun, man. It's really nice gun.
Very cool, very cool. So, and I wasn't aware of that. For some reason, I feel like every time I associated with 2011s, and I'll be honest, I looked at them pretty hard, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and then I just kind of put them to the side again, and I was like, maybe another time. I was just, the only place I could ever find them was via STI. Like, it seemed like STI was the only person making them, and then probably there was, like you're saying, like Atlas and stuff like that. Maybe a couple niche companies that are making them, but they're like, top dollar. They're 100% custom. So it seems like they've just grown in popularity then.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, STI definitely has it like cornered, I think, a little bit. They even actually mark their guns 2011. Off the top of my head, I don't think Atlas does that. But I mean, like Atlas, they only pump out like 100 guns a month. I know their manufacturing is getting bigger because they're gaining in popularity as well. But yeah, they're definitely a smaller company, so you're kind of getting a gun that
polished
was built,
product.
Yeah, exactly. Like we've had 2 identical Atlases in the shop. Like we got them, they arrived together, and they're tuned so well you couldn't interchange the slides between them. And these are 2 of the same model guns.
Right,
but they're the fit and finish is just so fucking tight, and these guns are just built so well that there's really nothing I can compare it to.
Very cool.
And again, I could be wrong on the 2011 thing. Like most of the time, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So that might just be an STI thing, and I've been wrong this whole time. But yeah, as far as I know, that kind of 1911 style that shoots 9mm, we just call them 2011s around here. I
gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty green to those in general. I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't know, like I came back to like a realization with 1911s that if I wanted a 1911, I was going to have to spend a lot of money. And then like when I got to that point, I was like, well, it seems like the 2011s are the new cool thing. I was like, well, why don't I just do that instead? Like, because like you said, it's basically 1911 with 9 mil, but it seems like you said, like zero recoil. It's like the new hotness. So that's kind of what I was kind of leaning towards, anyways. But very cool, man. I have to look into that a little bit more and do a little more research.
Let me know. Let me know, man. I'll set you up with an Atlas.
Cool. So before we completely switch off of guns real quick,
Okay.
you do mention red dot sights on pistols and stuff like that, which I'm a huge advocate for. It's the future. If you don't like it, get off. Too bad. Tough shit. What is your go-to red dot sight for your pistol?
Man, these are easy questions.
Nails.
SRO, no doubt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
100%.
dude. Fuck yeah. That's so funny that you say that. One of my slides is out getting milled by Jaeger Works, I think. Yeah. Jaeger Works.
Steven has one getting built up. We speak. Awesome. Very nice.
Nice.
Very
Did he jump on that Black Friday deal?
Hey, Steven, did you jump on the Black Friday deal for the slide work?
No,
He said he bought it before that, so he
Damn.
overpaid.
That sucks. It's like, I think it was like $60 to get your slide cut and everything like that.
Oh, dude, you couldn't afford not to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, that same thing. I was like, I wasn't about to get my I wasn't like, as soon as I find a good SRO price, then I'll get it all done. And then I just happened to stumble on, got the Glock. That's story of the time. I'm sure I'll make fun of myself later on. But yeah, so got the Glock 17. I was like, this is gonna be just a complete gun like that. Sent out the slide, got that. Got an scored an SRO off of primary arms, like 450 or whatever. Perfect. Like everything just came apart. So yeah, the same thing. SRO, getting that. So good to know.
What MOA did you get?
2.5.
Nice.
2.5.
So
Yeah.
in the very beginning, when we kind of moved from RMRs to SROs, we were all running the 5s.
Same.
And since then, dude, we switched to the 2.5s, man. It's faster.
Yeah. So it's weird too, because like so I started off initially with an MOS, which is, for those who don't know, it's basically Glock's factory cut slide. But it just, dude, I just was not like, I was picking up speed with it a little bit, but it just always felt off. Like something always just did not seem correct. Like I felt like I was always trying to search too long for the dot. And with an RMR, it's a little bit tighter box. It's not as it's a little bit smaller. But I ended up selling that MOS off, and I was like, let me get one more try, but this time I'm gonna get it cut. I was like, I know that there's got to be something out there. So I was between the Delta Point Pro and the SRO, but deep down I knew I always wanted the SRO. So why have that buyer's regret and just go ahead and go with SRO? So,
yeah, I mean, I know people were hating on the giant window and whatnot, but honestly, the thing's growing on me more and more.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
So yeah, dude, good choice on the SRO.
Hell yeah, I'm with you though. It's like the first time I saw it, I was like, damn, it's kind of goofy. But I was like you said, the more I looked at it, the more it kind of like, I don't know, like I like it more now. Like it's like, I don't know, I prefer the way it looks actually. But good stuff. So other than just firearms, you guys offer some other cool stuff. Of course, what would be the clone game without some night vision? You already mentioned PECs and stuff like that, lasers. Night vision. So how do you guys get into night vision? Was this at the very beginning too, when you were in the garage, or is this something that you've expanded as you moved to the new location?
I would say it definitely happened in the garage. It's been on all of our radars since day one.
Sure.
It's just kind of like there's levels to this shit.
Sure.
Eventually you just get to that point where, your rifles, your guns are all set up. It's a million fucking degrees in the desert out here during the summer. And the only choice is to shoot at night. I mean, we did do a lot of night shooting pre-night vision, no problem. And, white light goes a long way. But, dude, there's just something about putting those fucking nods on, man. Like it's hard to explain until you do it and actually shoot with them too. I know Monarch was talking about like just outdoorsy people using them and whatnot. Dude, totally, like 100%. I have we're gonna take a trip to Yellowstone at the beginning of the year, and dude, 100% plan on taking the night vision. Like
very cool.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's obviously it's not for everyone. And there's levels to night vision too. We got in, so I know a lot of people are going to hate on AGM,
Yeah, yeah.
It is what it is. They're a smaller company. We have AGMs, RNVGs, DTNVGs, PVS 31s. I mean, we've ran them all.
Mm-hmm.
They're all cool. Like, you can't go wrong with any night vision, period. In my opinion, I think the AGMs are the best bang for the buck. The DTNVGs, kind of in a league of their own, super lightweight, super crisp. But I don't know if there's necessarily like
a
go-to $3,000 difference that makes them worth it. Because you can get into AGMs Gen 3 white phosphors for under $8,000. DTNVGs are what, close to 11?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a difference. Don't get me wrong. I know dudes are going to listen to this and be like, "You're a fucking idiot." I've ran them both side by side, and dude, $3,000 is a lot of money to me. To have a slightly clearer picture. So I've been running the AGMs fine. Chris has been running the DTNVGs. Steven's got RNVGs. Scooter Pie and War Rig, who they come over and shoot the shit every once in a while. They run RNVGs also. Yeah, it's definitely kind of like a must-have around here as of lately. All of them are cool though. You can't go wrong with any of them. I'm literally watching Steven set up his helmet as we speak.
Very cool. So, and that leads to my next question. So obviously when you are getting into night vision, I think a lot of people forget, like they see the price tag of like the actual, binos or whatever, mono, whatever they're planning on getting, but they forget about the setup portion. So like they're forgetting the fact that you have to have a helmet, whether it be a bump helmet, I guess, or if I'm saying it incorrectly, or like the actual ballistic helmet, which obviously the price goes up. And then you have to have the mount. Wilcox is the only name that I know personally. I'm not very well versed in night vision. And then obviously, you have everything else, and then battery packs, all that stuff. But also, I think the one thing I forgot personally when I was kind of looking at it is a laser. Like, what is the point of having all that cool stuff if you can't even see like the fucking cool ass laser that you put on your damn clone gun, right?
That's the best part of it. Night vision, pretty much, in my opinion. Yeah, no. So there definitely are additional costs on top of the binos themselves. Yeah, I mean, I would say minimum. You can add another $1,000. A bump helmet, super cheap. That's what the majority of us run over here. Yeah. Just because, like, I don't know. At the end of the day, you can still shoot me in the face. What do I need to wear a $1,200 helmet for? That most of them I think only stop 9 mil too. Yeah. I think I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But anyway,
don't draw that at home.
So yeah, we run bump helmets out here, and then your fucking IR lights are fucking expensive, dude. Yeah. So you got to add one of those Surefire fucking vampire lights or whatever the new mod light is. I can't fucking keep up. You got to put some of those on there, and then your fucking ears. I don't like to share ears. Have one on a helmet and then have to take it off if I wanted to run no helmet. So I of course bought the ops cores. Those are a fucking $1,000 just by themselves. So yeah, the helmet itself definitely adds up. And then the lasers, dude, you got to have them. I run a PEC 2 on the Mark 12. I run on my SR16. I run a D-Ball A3, and on the Block 2, I have a PEC 15 full power, which is fucking crazy, dude. Like, we were out here playing with it at the beach, and I mean, this fucking thing lights up a hotel that's probably at least half a mile from here.
Holy shit!
No problem, dude. Yeah, it's insane. So yeah, the shit definitely adds up. But like, I had lasers before I had night vision, so it was easy. Once I got the night vision, I already had the lasers because I'm a clone dork, and it just fell into place and seemed to work out pretty well.
So you did mention one thing, and I know like some stuff is kind of have to come on secondhand. So like again, quote me if I'm wrong, like full power, full power lasers, you kind of have to come secondhand. However you get that, that's not my problem. But like, what's the aspect of getting lasers? Like, what's the tiers, or like, what do you aim to get if you're like a new customer?
So I started like when I just thought it was cool to have a laser on your gun. I started with the D-Ball I2. I think a year or two ago they were $600. They're probably in the 800-ish range now because lasers have gone up for whatever reason also.
Yeah.
And that's a cool laser to get you in the door. It's visible, but it's got several drawbacks. It's not a slaved laser, if I'm saying that right. So you essentially you have to adjust it. You have to adjust the visible laser by itself and then the infrared laser by itself. So there's two adjustments, and obviously one of them you can only do under night vision. So that one kind of has its downsides, the little inconveniences here and there, versus their next model up, which would be the A3, which makes one adjustment and it adjusts both lasers. Also on the A3, they included the illuminator on there, which is like a giant infrared flashlight.
Gotcha.
The other one does not have an illuminator, so you need some sort of either IR flashlight on the gun or the helmet to just kind of aid in what you're looking at. Because believe it or not, like you can see through night vision fine without an IR light, but you click on that fucking IR light and all of a sudden everything just becomes 10 times more clear.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a trip.
Huh. Wild stuff.
Yeah. So D-ball's cool. That'll totally get you in the door. I think PEC 15s, the civilian ones, $1,200-$1,300. I would just hit one of the many awesome gear pages on Instagram. I see those dudes flipping full power PECs all day, and just get the big dog stuff. I think you'll be happier in the end. And then to go above and beyond that, then you get into like the Wilcox raids, the malls.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and those fucking lasers are
25,
in a league of their own.
3?
Yeah, upwards of that. So we've got a couple of the Wilcox Raid X on the way.
Yeah.
And so the other thing you're going to find out with lasers too is the laser itself is offset from the barrel, meaning it's only going to cross over the point of impact, at let's say 100 yards, and then the laser is going to pass over that point of impact and not be accurate for much further past that. The Wilcox Raid laser is I believe the only laser that is actually in line with the barrel. So it's literally on top of the barrel and shoots straight out. So I think that's the big selling point on those guys.
Gotcha.
Again, I haven't touched one in person yet. We're waiting on a black and tan one. Got it for 3+ months now. So, but yeah, that's the laser game in a nutshell, I guess you could say.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool stuff. So like we'll say Joe Blow is looking to kind of set up his first setup. Do you normally recommend people to start off with like a mono setup to maybe like test the waters, or do you like normally say, hey, like if this is your budget and you're willing to go for it, go ahead and jump to the binos?
100% based on budget. Don't go into debt over this fucking shit.
Sure.
One of my good friends, shout out Privateer Group, his go-to quote is the mission drives the gear. So, just be realistic about what you want to fucking buy. Scott Scooter started with a green Foss PVS 14, was able to sell that, make a little bit of money, and got him into RNVGs.
Gotcha.
So if you're smart about it, you can definitely get to where you want to be, but you don't have to fucking rack up the Amex to get some fucking DTNVGs to impress no one on Instagram.
It's literally just Instagram. Good stuff, dude.
Dude, it's fucking crazy.
So I'll wrap up night vision a little bit, but one question I did have is like, I think obviously everything is trending towards white Foss now. Like, that seems to be the go-to, everyone moving forward, across the board. But, I know there's still some really, really clear green as well. Do you think green is worth it at all? Like, do you think that's like any kind of aspect, or should you just, whether even if you have to save a little bit more coin to budget it out, do you think it's worth sticking with white Foss?
That would probably be the one thing I think that you should just spring extra for. I think ultimately when you get the green, you're going to kind of regret it, especially if you're hanging out with someone that has white. But, like, again, it comes down to what you can afford. The white is substantially more expensive.
Yeah.
They both, at the end of the day, they allow you to see at night. So, I'm not going to hate on you for that, but I think the white is definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Gotcha. And I said that was my last question, but I lied. So I have one more. But
love night vision.
Yeah. So and this is something I've been interested in, and then a lot of people ask me, but like, I've told people like I have no idea. I don't know much about night vision other than what I've read about. But what about resale value? Like, some stuff you buy, and obviously this is more of a high end item, so you're dealing with a more limited resale base. How is the resale value on night vision once you've purchased it?
Right now, it's never been better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're like firearms. You can't get this shit right now. There's only so many dudes that know how to build these. And there's, only so many tube manufacturers and whatnot. And all these companies, have lead times 6, 8, 12 months out. We waited on AGM. We ordered them in, I'm going to say March, and they arrived in August. So if you have something night vision right now and you wanted to sell it, it would sell in minutes for more than you paid for it.
Wow.
I don't know if that's going to hold true next year, but yeah, right now it's definitely a seller's market for night vision.
Huh. Cool stuff. So what is like I don't know, like if you were like in the middle grounds of a high end setup and a low end setup, what would you say budget wise to just get everything? Like,
AGM.
Yeah.
AGM. And I'm going to get a lot of hate on that because dudes just dislike them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But we did SHOT Show last year, and they had a booth out there, and they were probably the most friendly, down to earth booth that we dealt with. We basically went to SHOT Show just to look at night vision. And I mean, they fucking demoed everything for us. Whereas other booths, wouldn't even let you fucking turn it on.
Yeah.
So I feel like AGM was really cool. I believe they're L-bit tubes, if that even matters to anyone. And they're sturdy. I mean, the first 5 minutes of having mine, Derek and I went out, Privateer Group and I went out, and I didn't have them bungeed onto my helmet. And he was like joking around and asking me why I didn't have them bungeed to my helmet. And I went to go put the bungees on, and my brand new AGM, whatever, NVG 50s, literally fell off my helmet and landed face down right in the dirt. And yeah, it was a gut wrenching couple minutes there, because I just expected to pick them up either broken or cracked or whatever. Totally fine. Like, not a fucking scratch on them. Still use them to this day. Super robust. And again, I think bang for the budget wise, that's the way to go. Because below that, you're going to get the RNVGs. You cannot articulate those, which may not be a big deal to certain people, but you can't, they don't tuck as close to the helmet as AGMs or DTNVGs. The AGMs also have a manual gain adjustment, which is a feature you may or may not use. I've only used it a couple times. A lot of even like the DTNVGs don't have that. So that's kind of a nice feature. It can help kind of brighten up certain low light conditions and whatnot. AGM, without a doubt, best bang for your buck. If you can spring for the DTNVGs, though, I think those are best of the best.
Gotcha. So like when you're getting into that field, like, cost wise, what you looking at, like a total setup, like 14,000, give or take? Everything's
for DTNVGs?
Yeah.
I'd say that's fair. That's definitely maybe a little on the high side, because you figure the DTNVGs are 10 to 11-ish, and you're going to spend 2-ish on the helmet setup. I mean, if you threw a rifle laser in there, definitely.
Gotcha.
14 would sound about right. But you could get into Gen 3 White Foss AGM, that fully articulate manual gain. I know I sound like an AGM simp right now.
No, that's cool, dude. I don't know anything about them. So,
dude, under $8,000.
Wow. Huh.
So,
no, that's not bad at all. That's not. I mean,
it's not bad at all. I mean, you're gonna get some critics on them, but fuck, dude. At the end of the day, like I can see pretty much just as well as Chris next to me with DTNVGs. So,
I mean, like you said, you're talking about $3,000-$4,000 too.
Yeah,
especially like
exactly.
if it's not like if you're doing it like as a profession, I totally get it. Or if you just have money to just, like, I don't care, dude. Money's money. I'll buy whatever. But otherwise, it's $4,000 or $5,000, you know. So so it's like that's a lot you can buy with that much. Very cool, man. Good to know. Good to know. We'll touch back on that. So very cool. Do you have a lot of people buying night vision right now? Especially, I mean, you already said it's been really popular and the demand's really high. But do you guys have a lot of customers looking for it?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Cool.
And it's such an easy item to sell once you give
Demo.
them night vision to try on. Yeah. So like these dudes will walk out front, fucking slap the helmet on, and it's like an instant sale.
Yeah. The grin tells all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've pretty much never had someone put them on and not see a huge smile on their face in the first 5 seconds. So yeah, easy sell. But again, it's like the guns, you know, it's you got to be willing to wait. And if you're not willing to wait, you got to be willing to pay.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So I'm going to go to the last topic I have for us tonight is one that led me to you originally. Reloading stuff, pinks, Portside pinks. You guys had it to where the bullet was actually painted pink, which I think is just such a cool little nice little touch on stuff, especially like today. And so how did you guys get into reloading? Was that like was like the initial thing prior to the business opening, or did that come after or before the FFL?
So I'm totally glad we're talking about this, because I get so much love for these stupid pink bullets. Like I never in a million years would have thought dudes would go so crazy over these fucking reloaded 9mm bullets. So they're poly coated. Allegedly, they run cleaner, less fouling. I don't know how fucking true that is. In my opinion, I saw pink bullets and I'm like, this is fucking tight. I want to make these. And it kind of turned into this like weird little cult. Yeah. Like affliction with these pink bullets. It was definitely an afterthought of the FFL. I had never even reloaded prior to that. So that was the other funny thing too. Like in the very beginning, we did a lot of R&D with them. Like I've tried several different recipes. I got all these different books. We use a Dillon XL 650 with every accessory you can buy from them. I use Hodgdon powder. At the time, we were using some new brass, some used brass. It just kind of depended what I could get my hands on. And then the pink bullets, and they were a fucking hit. And then all of a sudden, I got a couple of these weird fucking meme Instagram accounts start attacking me and saying like, yeah, it was so weird that I wasn't licensed to sell ammunition when I literally have a permit like hanging on the wall that not only says I'm a firearms manufacturer, but also an ammunition dealer. So I was like more than licensed to do this stuff. And these dudes just went like crazy on it, like just memes to no end about these pink bullets blowing off your hand and blowing up the Glock. I mean, some of the shit was funny, don't get me wrong. I got a good laugh out of it, but I wasn't trying to ever put something into the public's hand that would cause any harm. Sure. So, like I said, we did a ton of testing with them. Scott Scooter Pie, he ran them in competition. We've ran them at our local range, FG3. I felt totally comfortable selling them, and that was an intention to keep that going. Fucking COVID, man. It's not an ammo shortage, dude. It's a primer shortage. Yep. So that's what people don't fucking realize. So there's no fucking primers, which is like the main fucking ingredient for these stupid things. And I let it kind of just hit the back burner, I guess you could say, for the time being. Because there's really no money in it either. It was just kind of a cool factor. We were fucking around one night in the garage. We came up with the name, and yeah, dude, I wish I could have kept it going better. Dudes ask me every fucking day if they can get them. And if I could get primers, I probably would sit here and crank them out all day for you guys. But, it's just one of those things that has kind of turned into probably a limited edition, never to see the world again. Damn, sucks. But you were 100% right. As someone who like reloads as a last resort, I went and I was like, oh, I got a little bit of reloading stuff, and then a little accident happened. Won't discuss that, but I was like, oh, okay, not a big deal. I'll just go order some primers. Dude, it's insane. Like
holy shit. Like, to put it in perspective, the primers are little place where the firing pin hits, ignites, et cetera, for those who aren't too well versed. But it's a tiny little, it's like, it's kind of like the igniter. So it's like tiny. It's like it's smaller than a Tic Tac generally. It's normally like, what was it, $30 for like 1,000, give or take? Is that about right?
And I want to say it was even less than that. Dude. I mean, these things are literally fucking pennies.
Yeah, I mean, like
they're fractions of pennies, dude. If you buy enough of them. Yeah,
so like, give or take that for 1,000. Like, so basically like maybe $20 to $30, maybe less, depending on how bulk, for 1,000 each. Well, now, like, just looking back, you're talking about like $200 for 1,000. Like, the markup, I
don't even know where to get them from, dude. Yeah,
the markup is insane. Like, you just can't find them. You just can't get them. And so, like, same thing like what you said. It's not an ammo shortage. It's a primer shortage, and that goes across the board too. So it's like, it's not just like reloading stuff. Like, that's a lot of issues with like ammo, But dude, it's insane, man. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a shame because I had, as it sounds, I felt like I had some kind of good plans, some good marketing to go with the pinks. We dabbled, Privateer Group and I dabbled in like red and black subsonic ammo, and we were going to do like a privateer portside load that never came to fruition because it's fucking primers, man.
Dude, it's wild too. And it's like, obviously the main ones that you're looking for are the ones you can't find too. So like, 9mm pistol primers, small rifle magnum primers, you can't find those anywhere, but you can find bullets. You can find I think I have plenty of casings myself, so I didn't really look, but I think someone said casings were kind of iffy, but you can find plenty of powder. Like, powder is not a problem at all. Bullets are not a problem.
Powder's easy. The bullets are no problem at all. Casings come and go around here. Yeah. I'm lucky to have a bunch of dudes that work at, a local indoor range, and they just, so that's super convenient. But, dude, yeah, the fucking primers, man. It's crazy that such a small little thing can kind of set such precedence to such a huge industry. Man. I mean, I'm still getting ammo, no problem. Like, it's insanely marked up.
Right.
But I can find 9mm and 223, which is pretty much what everyone wants. Like, exactly. The dudes that come looking for 380 or 40, I tend to turn away because I don't shoot that shit. So, unless you wanted to come in here and order, 5,000 rounds of it, I'm not going to entertain your 200 rounds of 40.
Dude. I hate 42, dude. I've been trying to get rid of this fucking 40 HK that I have, and I just no one wants it. Like, no one wants it. It's like one of those buys that I was like, quote unquote, a good deal at the time. And it was like really cheap. And then like, no idea of like, oh, why did I waste money on this piece of crap?
That's fucking hilarious. We literally in the group chat last night just had the exact same conversation. Our buddy Carl was like, dude, I'm stuck with this 40 cal that no one fucking wants anymore. So now he called it his throwaway gun. I'm like, okay, well, that works then, I guess.
Yeah. So you already said that the highest in demand 9mm 5.56 223
by far.
Yeah. So funny enough, at least around here locally for me, 12 gauge buckshot is also almost impossible to come by for some reason. I guess I know why. Like, you kind of mentioned, like, first time buyers are buying like shotguns and stuff, and then that, like, recollection that the thing to buy is buckshot. Like, that's the FUD talking, right? So
totally.
Is 12 gauge really, really popular there too? Is it like a like an anomaly?
I would say for sure that's probably like the third most popular one, because again, it comes down to, all the new gun owners wanting that Remington 870 and, Mossberg 500. My partner, he does shoot a lot of shotgun classes, and he seems to have no problem having, 4,000 rounds of buckshot delivered here on a weekly basis.
Okay.
So it's around. We've got our ammo sources, which probably, helps us more than your average Joe out there. But yeah, definitely 9mm, 223, 5.56, and 12 gauge are for sure hot commodity, followed by, I'd say 7.62, 39, whatever the AK round is. We got a bunch of AK dorks out here.
Yeah. So, and then like on the top that off, so like, 9mm, what is, what's the price comparison to what normally normal pricing is compared to what it's going for right now?
Fuck, dude.
I think
Pre-COVID, I mean, what I think I was paying 15 to 18 cents a round. Now it's at 90 cents a round.
Yeah, isn't that crazy,
$1
man?
a round. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And I don't know that it'll ever go back down to what it was. I'm hoping it will go down, but I think manufacturers realize we're willing to pay 4 times what it normally is. So why would it ever go back down to 18 cents a round?
Gosh, man.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess the only thing I can say is maybe like from past events and past like ammo, quote unquote, shortages, like maybe it does kind of come back down. But at the same time, you know, I don't think there's ever been a time where it's lasted this long. Like normally it'll be like, I don't know. I can't really remember last time. Was it like, you know, like 4 or 5 months, and now we're coming close to a year, like really fast.
This has got to be by far the long. I mean, I'm used to it. Every 4 years, election time, like
right.
I'm used to the panic buying. This is nothing new, but this is definitely like a lingering situation. So I guess only time will tell. I know we got, you know, Sleepy Joe coming into office here pretty soon. So
corn pop. Yeah.
We'll see where that leads us. I just fucking hope it doesn't get any worse than it is right now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So like even I decided like in January to get in like 300 blackout, of course, you know, tax stamp, suppressor, went with the MCX, and of course didn't even really. I don't know. I remember looking at pricing. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad for like, you know, heavy grain subsonic. Everything, of course, passes like in. I'm trying to think. I think the suppressor came in like in October, but like everything, you know, everything else was through like March or so. And then of course, I looked at it one time, kind of forgot about it, honestly. Like, you know, as they tell you, don't think about the suppressor while you're waiting. But then I completely forgot to really look at ammo prices. And I remember actually joining a live stream of Corey's, and he was talking about the ammo price of 300 blackout. And then it hit me. I was like, oh shit. Like, oh man, I don't even want to look at the pricing. So like I went and looked at it, dude. It's like a freaking, it's last time I looked, it was like $1.40 or so around for subsonic.
Yeah. You're
maybe
thinking,
more.
What have I done?
Yeah,
Jesus.
dude,
yeah.
insane.
I got into 300 blackout. I dabbled to in the beginning of the year pre-COVID, got out of it real quick. It's totally fucking cool. Like there's nothing cooler than shooting subsonic 300 blackout. That shit is fucking quiet. But yeah, I was the only one shooting it. So,
yeah,
you know, it was no big deal for me to just move on from it. You know, been there, done that. 223 gets it done for me at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks too, man. It just the cost, just the ammo, but like, I mean, kind of like with you. So like my whole idea this year was election year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy up some ammo in February, which I got for normal pricing. Like, so for all of you who are wondering, I think I bought like 15 or 2,000 rounds of 5.56, 62 grain. And it was like 29 cents a round, like, you know, give or take. And of course, like I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, this will hold me over. I'll keep shooting. And then like, you know, in June or so, a little bit before election, before it starts heating up, I'm going to restock some more to kind of hold me over a little bit longer. And dude, man, just, oh my God, just insane.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So it's funny, like around here, you know, we order ammo pretty fucking regularly. The Jew in me has allowed me to like routinely, I don't want to say secretly, but I've been kind of ordering ammo around here without telling anyone for the last year, and just kind of, you know, like keeping my stash pretty much filled up. And Steven found out about that the other night, and he's been, you know, bugging me to sell out of my personal stash. And I'm like, dude, you know, you should have fucking been buying the whole fucking time. So it's dudes just don't understand, like, you know, to prepare themselves for the inevitable. And ammo should be like one of those things, like your fucking car payment, just, you know, buy 1,000 rounds a month. You know, I know now it's $800 for 1,000 rounds, but it used to be $350. And I would just, you know, I would buy 1,000 rounds a month, whether I went and shot it or not. And now I'm sitting on a nice hefty load that I just tease all my friends with. So it works out well if you prepare yourself for it.
Yeah, yeah. So like, and that's, I think everyone forgets that. Like, what were they saying a long time, like in the forums? Like, take advantage of the salad days. It's times like this, the ammo is normally not never this cheap, and like, take advantage of it while it is, 'cause it never lasts. And sure enough, man, sure enough.
Yeah, dude, these motherfuckers are right, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned it definitely firsthand this year, but just within the last 6 months, I mean, I've seen a steady increase every month of ammo prices.
Yeah.
So it's not getting any better. If you need ammo, just fucking bite the bullet and get it. You've got no other options at this point, because it's not going to get cheaper.
Yeah. And just talking with like a couple distributors, almost every one of them have said like there is no end in sight on the back orders, and like, the time frames. Like, like initially, I think back in August, talking with one guy, he was telling me like they're hoping for like next year in October, they would have maybe caught up a little bit. And now, no telling. 2 years maybe is what they're saying right now. At least like, as it stands, that's assuming things don't get worse, 2 years. So, geez, man.
Ridiculous.
It's insane. Absolutely insane. So we'll wrap it up a little bit with Portside. But before we do, is there anything else cool or new or things you're hoping to get, trending with Portside, or anything you guys are going to try and start releasing, or maybe anything I missed out?
I mean, honestly, dude, you hit pretty much everything. We do have some stuff in the works.
Cool.
We've got guns coming nonstop. I've got like 50 Atlases on order. I've got consignment guns showing up here and there. Got a couple collabs in the works with some smaller shops, Illicit Provisions, War Rig Logistics.
Yeah.
I like to kind of keep it low key with the smaller businesses like myself, and support local businesses. War Rig lives right down the street from me.
Cool, man.
So that's super convenient. And yeah, we've got some hats coming. I've got some patches coming. I'm really trying to push that bomb logo here for 2021. Dude.
I really like it, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It took me a while to figure it out. I mean, so it's basically, I used the typical bomb, and the glare in that upper left corner of the bomb is actually inspired from like BCG, the lugs on a BCG.
Okay, yeah,
so
I didn't even notice that.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, most people don't, but now if they ever listen to us, they'll know the origin. And yeah, that's going to be going forward, kind of the icon for Portside for 2021. And yeah, man, just if you want something, buy it. That's really what I got to tell everyone out there. Like it's not going to get better. So if you can get it, get it.
For sure, dude. For sure. Yeah, man. So just tagging onto that a little bit, and this was something I did want to bring up and I missed out on. Yes, let's talk about your merch for like a quick second.
Yeah, totally.
Yes,
love the
merch. Unfortunately, have missed out. So I didn't miss that on the Caveman, but I have like a huge animosity behind orange, like the color orange, and I just can't wear orange. I don't know.
Fair enough. It's not for everyone. It happens to be my favorite color.
Damn, dude. Oh man, feel bad.
I know.
But I don't though, because I fucking hate orange. But damn, man, the shirt was so cool. Like I almost like bought it just out of like, just because of the cool. Just I love the old school Caveman, and it seems like you guys put a lot of that older school, like dare I say 90s, kind of like a 90s touch, a little 90s like throwback on some of them. And I just want to say a lot of the merchandise you guys throw out, I actually do dig, and I actually like a lot of the shirts and stuff. So hopefully the next shirt
I appreciate that. I mean, we're 90s kids over here, essentially. Like, we're all born in the late 80s. But yeah, the Caveman thing was cool. I had House Party do those up for me. I typically have a local friend of mine that runs a shop out of Costa Mesa do all my merchandising, but he got hit with the fucking COVID bug.
Damn.
So, House Party took care of me real good. Orange is my color. I've got this whole mid-century modern furniture thing that kind of runs in my family. It's my mom's business. So, and orange is such a prevalent color in that whole interior design world that I've just kind of fallen in love with it too.
I feel you.
So I'll remember though that you said that, because you're not the only person that said they hated orange. So I'll definitely get back to white and black going forward.
I mean, like to be fair though, it's more like collegiate sports stuff, right? So, like obviously the arch rivals are orange, and I don't know, it's just like something. So like it just, and of course he had like purple in the cape too. So like being in South, I don't know how much, I don't know if you watch college football or care about
Oh
college
yeah,
football.
I know where you're going with
Cool,
this.
cool. So
Yep.
you already know. So being in South Carolina, obviously I have that annoying itching bug in the upstate of my location. And obviously we have been absolutely dreadful. I graduated from South Carolina, and so we've been absolutely dog shit. Like we actually just fired our coach finally. And so dealing with that on a nonstop basis is like throw like heart, like nightmares, like like you fucking see orange and purple and just like I wouldn't
Oh
hear the
yeah,
end of it.
totally. No, it
It
sounds
kills me,
like
dude.
you and my friend Steven would have a lot in common since you both lose nonstop pretty much.
Yeah,
So
dude.
he's an Arizona guy. I think
Gotcha,
they
gotcha.
just got smoked 70-7 the other night.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's rough. I don't know what that feels like because I'm like a huge like Lakers, Dodgers, like all we do is
Man.
win. So
God, man, whatever, bro.
it is what it
Yeah,
is.
so like, it seems like that's all my teams. Like I always seem to get attached to like the worst damn teams, like, right? So like Panthers, trash.
Oh God.
God, man, like, I kind of had some high hopes with Teddy Bridgewater coming in, new staff, et cetera, et cetera. Like maybe even I don't know. It's like
You guys had your chance with Cam,
dude,
and
they did. They
you
did.
fucking blew it. But dude, honestly, I know how you feel because I'm a Niners fan.
Yeah,
So it's been a rough fucking year for us too. But I do tend to lean towards like the sports stuff in my merchandising. Obviously,
yeah,
the first
absolutely.
shirt was the Lakers one.
Right.
My wife, I don't mean to humble brag, but she is Jeannie Buss's makeup artist, the owner
Cool.
of the Lakers.
Oh,
So
hell
that's
yeah.
why we're always at all the Laker games and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so love the fucking Lakers. I literally have their logo tattooed on me.
Hell yeah, dude.
So yeah, I definitely I'm gonna work on some new clothes, hats. I've got snapbacks on the way. We've got those patches. I've just been slacking on getting them out to the public. I think I owe you one too. And yeah, man, that's pretty
Very
much
cool,
everything
man.
I got in the works, I think, for right now. I'll probably remember something as soon as we're done.
Yeah,
but
that's how it always happens, though.
maybe there will be a round 2 if we don't get hit by the cancel culture.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Fuck, man. Yeah, my first and last podcast.
Yeah. No, I think we'll be okay though. I think we'll be okay. I would have heard from something so far, and surprisingly I haven't after a couple of them. But hey, it is what it is. But we'll move outside of Portside, kind of start wrapping everything up entirely, and let's talk about one more thing before we can completely shut it down for the night. What is something that you like to do outside of Portside, and we'll like say like outside of shooting and all that stuff? Like, what is a hobby that you enjoy doing, et cetera? You did say sports, like, big Lakers fan. Anything else?
I mean, I know this is probably going to go hand in hand, but I mean, dude, we're a bunch of camping dorks around here. Like that's what our whole crew kind of has been about. Guess what? Pizza just arrived. And yeah, so definitely we're a bunch of big camping dorks around here. Sports, Lakers. I mean, we fucking work so much, dude. We don't have time for fucking hobbies, which I know sounds stupid and cliche, but I put in. Well, I've cut down my hours at the day job. So I work 10 hours a day at the day job, and then I hit Portside usually like 5:36 on the weeknights and stay till whenever dudes stop fucking rolling in, and then I spend all day, all night here during the weekend. So like this is the longest that we've gone without shooting probably in the last year. We haven't been shooting in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's things are changing, and at this time, I mean, there's just no time for anything else other than fucking guns.
I feel that, dude. I feel that. And you're right, man, especially when you have a day job and then this is your side piece, and then it's just, and then of course you have family too, so it kind of like all wraps in, but it's just like, where do you squeeze the time in to do something extra? But
right. And
very
it's
cool.
funny you mentioned the family thing, because that's definitely like one of my big hurdles that I'm working on is,
Sure.
trying to spend time with the wife. But that's one of my big goals next year is to hopefully go full time. Hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but I think Portside can
Support.
definitely, keep it going at this rate and get me out of the fucking day job so I can get out some cool shit to everyone out there.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, hey, man, we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Once again, thank you so much for jumping on. Lots of cool info, night vision, reloading, guns, clone stuff, of course, a bunch of night vision stuff, which I thought was really, really cool to hear about. But thank you so much, man, for taking time out of your evening, your day to jump on, man.
Hey, anytime, man. It was an absolute pleasure. This was my first time, and I couldn't have had a better experience.
Awesome, man.
Thank you so much. Portside definitely appreciates it.
Absolutely. And before we do cut you off, where can we reach you? Where can people come out, find you, follow you on Instagram? If people actually use Facebook anymore, where can they find you at?
I do not fuck with Facebook at all, so
Thank
don't
you.
look for us on Facebook. Instagram is the main thing, and we did just launch our new website, so feel free to check it out. It's got a couple quirks, but portsidemunitions.com is the website. Instagram, and if you have my number, fucking hit me up, man.
There you go. There you go. And the Instagram is Portside, just as underscore
LLC.
There you go. There you go. And you'll know them. You'll see the little bomb logo. And of course, for all you dudes who are like me and can't comprehend hearing something, I'll have it all tagged up in the link tree as well. On the Instagram, you can have it there and the podcast. Thanks again, man, for coming on. Have a nice evening. Until next time. And of course, I'm sure we'll do another one for sure.
Sounds good, dude.
All right, man.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.